This one is really got me riled up because I know what this video is about, and we're going to talk about it. I'm actually curious where Moist lands on this because I know he parrots a lot of Reddit's opinion. So let's see where the grand almighty fence sitter sits on the Super Mario Galaxy movie drama. Let's get into it.
Surprised to learn that there's big drama bubbling over in regards to the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Yep.
And
this shit was so good. And if you saw it, you knew it was so good. It was a kid's movie, so go in knowing it's a kid's movie. Enjoy it for what it is, which is essentially a very long YouTube short. It was good fun for the whole family, and you should enjoy it because that's who it's for. Okay, I'm not going to go in to a film made for 85-year-olds as a 6-year-old baby and think that my opinion fucking matters because I'm not who the film was made for.
Reception to it.
And the movie was fantastic. I gave it a 92%.
So, in a nutshell, there's actually a few different things going on. A lot of bloody battles being fought with mangled corpses left in the wake. The Thunderdome that's claimed the most souls here is about the critic.
If you think that your job, your sole purpose in life is to be a critique of children's movies, I don't give a fuck what you're saying, bro. I'll listen to the people who actually went and watched this shit because they just wanted to pass the time and have some fun rather than, let me see how deep these plot lines are in this movie made for 6-year-olds. It was legitimate. It was a good kids movie, and then it was a nice nostalgia flick for anybody who's middle-aged like myself.
Score versus the audience score on Rotten.
And the reason why they're so upset because there wasn't enough gay representation and there wasn't enough black people in this movie.
Tomatoes. People are having a fiery conversation, a lot of shit and spit flying about the discrepancy between the two, arguing that it illustrates that critics are just this worthless fungus that are out of touch and don't represent like real taste, and the audience score is the only reliable metric on Rotten Tomatoes. And I actually half agree. I'm not exactly the biggest fist-pumping enthusiast for critic scores. I'll often check like what critics are saying.
I've never once gave a fuck about a critic score, never will.
About a new game.
Unless it's IGN, and then I like shitting on them.
Game or a new movie or show that's come out just to kind of get a gauge of what to expect when going into it.
And to be honest, when I go to IGN to look up a review, I'm mainly going to look at the comments of the people who have actually played the game.
I never take their word as gospel, and whatever the score they give it
never should.
Isn't something that computes in my head and changes the way I view it, but it is something I at least look at, though I don't put a ton of stock into it. And this is coming from someone who always gives an opinion on like new games, movies, and shows. I do that very often.
Well, you definitely say a opinion, Moist. And it's usually the one you found off of Reddit. I don't know if you ever give your own opinion. Because last time you did that, you said that trans kids are real. That one was rough.
But I would never consider myself a critic. I'm just a fucking guy who goes and watches a bunch of shit and plays a bunch of shit, and I'll just tell you what I thought of it. That's kind of the end of that. Not a whole lot else to digest there. So you can agree or disagree with it till the cows come home. I'm never really trying to give some kind of like objective metric on if something was actually like amazing or dog shit. Just in my eyes, if it was great or poo-poo. But I fully, whole hog, full chub disagree with the other half of the argument that the audience scores is the one that's actually indicative of the quality of something.
I absolutely agree with that one. The only one that I ever thought was wrong was Iron Lung, because that movie was awful. Love Markiplier, and I'm glad for what that film represents. But man, that movie was god-awful.
This from the mountaintops for years that Rotten Tomatoes, Jesus Christ, I sound like an actual Neanderthal. Rotten Tomatoes audience score is almost as useless as Pam Bondi. It's not like that's somehow more reliable in any way, shape, or form. Now,
Dude, Pam Bondi was so fucking useless, I didn't even know what the Attorney General was. Which, to be fair, I've never claimed to be a political commentator. I just like talking about current events and what's going on in the world. But yeah, when the Attorney General is so useless that people forgot what they're supposed to do, that's pretty telling.
Reviews, especially in recent times, are extremely all over the place and, oftentimes very out of touch. I agree with that. But audience scores, it's not like they're free from that sin either. Basically, every movie ever that comes out has a pretty high audience score on Rotten Tomato, no matter how terrible it is.
I'm going to fact check that. One of the movies that I fucking hated lately was FNAF 2. That movie was fucking terrible. FNAF 1 was great. What did the audience score think? Oh yeah, the audience is retarded. If you rated FNAF 2 at an 83%, you're just stupid. Okay. All right. Hey, Charlie. Facts. You spitting here. You spitting.
Something could hit the theaters tomorrow, you know, The Haunting of Titty Nippleless, and it'll be the worst thing your eyes have ever seen. Like, actually an affront to God. And then you'll check the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's like 75%. And genuinely, do this right now. Any movie that you've seen that you didn't like, check the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. It's probably pretty high. Like,
let me double check Iron Lung. Oh, it's cooked. This was 2 hours and 40 minutes of straight garbage. Straight garbage. Oh, okay, Charlie's spitting right now, man. Good shit. Good shit, King.
Recently, Scream 7 came out. That movie's pretty trash. 75% on Rotten Tomatoes. Do this for anything. Look at one of the worst Disney movies to come out in recent memory, Snow White from last year. 69% on Rotten Tomatoes for the audience score. Look at the worst Marvel movies of the last half decade. 75%, 77%, 79%.
Yeah, that's a little rough, man.
76%. It is a given that anything that comes out is going to have a pretty respectable Rotten Tomatoes audience score. It's almost a guarantee, like the sun rising every day. It's very, very rare to see like an actual catastrophic audience score for a film. Like even The Strangers Chapter 3 from last year, genuinely the conclusion to the worst horror trilogy ever made. And just as a reminder, in case you don't know, because a lot of you probably don't, they rebooted The Strangers. I'm not talking about The Strangers with Liv Tyler from way back in the day, which is a classic. They rebooted it with Chapter 1, 2, and 3. Genuinely the worst horror trilogy ever made.
No idea what he's talking about.
It's perhaps one of the worst pieces of horror that has ever fucking contaminated the cinema. Even that has a 49% Rotten Tomatoes audience score. So I'm not a big believer that the audience score is somehow the correct metric. Because no matter what, it's always going to be significantly higher than it should ever have any right to be for things that are actually bad. So Super Mario Galaxy movie having a 90% doesn't mean that it's a masterpiece that just critics don't understand. It just means fans are very excited about it. And thus they go and just storm 10 out of 10 reviews, which jacks the score way up, and everything's always positive. Like, the audience score isn't much better than critics, is the point I'm making.
I think the big thing that everybody should do is not give a fuck what anybody else is saying about movies or video games or shows, and just watch them for yourself. Give it 30 minutes, and if you like it, keep watching, and if you don't, fuck it, who cares? It's that easy.
Now with that out of the way, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I gave you my thoughts on it a couple days ago. Overall, I think it is worse than the first Mario Brothers movie, which I actually really enjoyed.
Nah, it was way better. First one was great. Second one was way better. I gave the first one probably like an 8.5. Second one a 9.2. I fucking loved it.
I think it is a huge step backwards. It is basically Jingling Keys, the movie. A lot of people are calling it that, and that's exactly what it is. It's a movie that has pretty much no substance at all. There's not even really a plot. There's a few plot elements that constantly are jumbled around. It is a mess in everything except for its visuals.
It's like we watch different movies. Like, what are you even talking about? The whole point of the movie, the whole plot of the movie is established in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Rosalina is in trouble and they need to go save her, which is the exact same plot of Super Mario Galaxy, which is the exact same plot as Super Mario 64. The princess is in trouble. They need to go save her. And that's it. There is also side plots, okay? Figuring out who the fuck Yoshi is, okay? Grouping up with Fox McCloud. The biggest one is, was Bowser evil or not? Did Bowser have the capacity to change? Does Bowser Jr. have the capacity to change? It's a pretty straightforward plot, established very quickly. It was great. Yeah, the movie was well-paced. I wouldn't say it's Jingling Keys, the movie. Something was going on at all times, and yeah, that's probably good for a child audience, but I really don't think it was that ADD.
Animation is stunning. It's very colorful, and it's very fun animation to watch, especially with the fights, and the music is absolutely slapping. They got Boner Jam.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Out the wazoo there.
The
with
movie
very
was awesome.
recognizable
The
tracks
OST was
remixed,
awesome.
and they sound great. But as a film, it is not very good. Basically,
It was great.
the film's formula is, here's something, and now that something is solved in the next 3 minutes. So that way they can get to the next something and just keep ham-fisting cameos till the cows come home the entire journey of this film.
Brother, it's the Mario movie. What the fuck are you expecting from Mario? Did you go into Super Mario 64 and just say, I don't know. Like, I need more emotional depth to this game. No, it's fun. And that's exactly how the Mario games were played. You play as Mario. There's the overworld. You need to find the princess, but you need to go to Bob-omb Battlefield first. You need to go to Dire Docks first. You need to go to fucking Tiny Huge Island first, right? The movie was true to form for any long-term fan of the franchise. And that's how it should be. How does anybody have this critique of the Mario movie? It's exactly how it should be.
Of this film. It is basically a movie that is all designed to just have you point at the screen going, oh, I recognize that. I get that reference.
Yeah, it was a fan for nostalgic. It was a movie for fan. It was a movie for nostalgic fans of Mario and kids alike. Yeah, they had cameos and it was cool. What the fuck is this guy smoking?
You know, it's basically like the Star Wars formula where fans, glup shitto out anytime they recognize something. That is the Super Mario Galaxy film.
I'm not gonna lie, I lost my shit when Pikmin, of all people, arrived in the Mario movie. And then I lost my shit again when I saw that Little Mac was in the movie for 0.2 seconds and I didn't notice him. It was awesome.
It is entirely
And yeah, that's exactly how it was advertised.
Built around just, here's like a small problem that is so small that we solve it in 2 minutes. So that way we can get to the next small thing and show you some more cameos, and then we can solve that real quick to get to the next thing. The story flows like it's actually a child playing with...
Like, what did you want them to do? Mario do like a training montage? Like, okay, so Rosalina gets kidnapped, and they have to go to this planet, and then they meet Fox, and then they find Peach
action
again.
Figures.
Like, I am so shocked by how dog shit of a review MoistCritical has. I'm glad I didn't watch his pre-existing video talking about this, because this feels like rage bait to me. I'm surprised he has this awful of opinion on how good the movie was.
And making up a story as they go along. And then Mario beats them, and then Bowser gets teleported out of the bee mines right after he hits the first rock, so he's reunited with his son, and then he forgets all about Mario and Luigi and their friendship, so that way they can blow up things in the universe with Planet Bowser.
But they didn't. There was a whole scene where Bowser was having a moral dilemma on who he cares more for, his former or his newfound friends that he just forgave for imprisoning him, or his fucking son, where Bowser Jr. was going to kill Mario and Luigi, and then Bowser said, no, son, maybe we don't do that, because he still had a soft spot. And so we were wondering, who's he gonna pick? And then obviously he picks his son. Like, did we watch the same movie, or what are we talking about here?
And everything it gets solved real quick. It's just...
This must be the popular take to give right now.
A mess. It is genuinely a mess. But like I said, it is Jingling Keys the movie, so kids are absolutely going to love it. And that is mainly what it's catering to, more so than the first film. I thought the first film was enjoyable for anyone of all ages. It was just a good time. This is solely for children, I would say.
As a 32-year-old man who went to this movie theater with 13 of my other 30 and high 20-year-old friends, everybody had a great time. What are we talking about?
Or fans of the property that just want to point at the screen going, I remember that, or watching some fights that are cool. The fights are cool. It's just there's no real substance around them. Now, if you like it, all power to you. All I'm saying is, it's just not really a very good movie, I don't think. So there's nothing wrong with pointing that out. But now people are vilifying anyone that doesn't like it, saying like, oh, they're expecting it to be Shawshank Redemption, this kid's movie. It's disgusting. It's ridiculous how anyone would dare critique a children's film.
Okay, I want to hear Charlie's rebuttal, because it is fucking retarded when people think that this movie should have had the emotional depth of a Shawshank Redemption. It did everything the series has done, and it was paced exactly for the audience that it was attempting to be delivered to. So what are we talking about? I want to hear how he defends this. And I'm not strictly against Charlie, but right now I think he's off his rocker here.
It's just amazing how far we've devolved, where now kids films and kids shows and anything geared towards kids is just expected to be trash. Like, it's just accepted that it's just
But it's not trash. It was good.
going to be slop, sludge, garbage, just radioactive ooze. And
But it wasn't slop, sludge, garbage. It wasn't. It was just a good, fast-paced film that was nostalgic for people to watch, kids and adults alike. What are we talking about?
if you try and like point out, some flaws in it, you're the bad guy. It's weird to say that something like this has problems. It makes no sense to me because it's not like we were always this way. Look at the Emoji Movie. The Emoji Movie came out like a decade ago, and everyone hated that. Everyone was critiquing it, rightfully so. It was a dog shit film, but it was solely for children. If the Emoji Movie came out today, I bet people would keep this same energy of, well, why are you critiquing the Emoji Movie? It's for kids.
No, Charlie. It's because this film delivered exactly to what audience it was going toward, which is nostalgic Mario fans and children. The Emoji Movie was not delivering to long-lasting fans of the franchise because there is no long-lasting fans, right? So it can be critiqued. There's a very huge difference between the Emoji franchise and the Mario franchise. I don't see how you don't understand this. I now understand why you get your opinions from Reddit. This one is a huge L.
This is dumb. It does exactly what it needs to do. My kids love it, which means it's the perfect film.
I'm still waiting for you to tell me how it's bad.
You're dumb for pointing out flaws. It's just very interesting to see how we've reached this point in a pretty short period of time. Just because something is catered towards a young audience doesn't mean it has to be bad. Take, for example, Transformers 1.
Once again, Super Mario Galaxy movie wasn't bad.
To go from recent memory. That is an animated feature film that is geared towards children, but it's also just a genuinely good movie.
It was great.
And there's plenty of other examples to pull from, like Toy Story. I just find it so fucking lame that we're in this era where the prevailing perspective is, yeah, it's a kid's movie, so of course it's gotta be slop. Get over it. Like, that's like the main perspective now.
I think Charlie's ass hurt because he gave a bad take and now he's getting shit on for it and he doesn't know what to do. So now he just wants to shit on anybody and say they're just stupid for criticizing him. This is pretty cringe, I'm not gonna lie.
Very fucking dumb. But by far the dumbest part of this genre, and what I've been saving for last, the best part of it, is now Super Mario Galaxy has been fully politicized. Like, now it's become a huge political battle about conservatives versus liberals because, I mean, in the age of Twitter, it's gotta be. So I shit you not, there's been a huge debate about it because people are saying, oh, all these critics are giving Mario Galaxy bad reviews because they're all woke fucking liberals that just can't tolerate a good old-fashioned conservative film with conservative values.
Do you want to know why people are saying that, Charlie? Because the people who are reviewing it are making posts like this with 2.4 thousand likes. Bowser, I know what you are, bisexual. To which I respond, why are you theory crafting the sexuality of a fire-breathing turtle from a movie made for children? Whoever made this article needs to be investigated. This screams child groomer, not gonna lie. Yeah, people are making it weird as fuck.
Which blew me away, which, like, I found it to be a crazy take, but this tweet right here is one that I've seen reposted on a ton of pages. The protagonist is male. There are no black people. There are no homosexuals. The main romance is heterosexual. If your movie meets these standards, it will be vilified by the media.
Facts!
Different iterations of that have been spewed out and regurgitated.
You know, if they made a canonically gay couple in this, it would be praised on Twitter, though. Let's be real.
Regurgitated by the thousands of drones that do rage bait on Twitter, the blue check marks. But this is something that people are having a real conversation about, which is crazy because the last Mario Brothers movie was applauded far more by most people, myself included. It was just a better film. But it was the same thing. Protagonist was male. There were no black characters. There were no homosexual characters. And the romance was still heterosexual.
Fair rebuttal. Actually, fair rebuttal.
It's like they forgot that this is the sequel to a movie, and that the main complaint about this one is that it's worse than the last one. This film relies solely on...
But the problem is, Charlie, is you're not just saying it's worse. You're saying it's garbage shit slop, and it's just not.
Remember this, remember this, remember this. Who gets this reference? Who gets this reference? Oh, come on, jingling keys, don't fall asleep, come on.
Yeah, how dare they have nostalgic references for longtime fans of the franchise? Why is that a bad thing? I don't understand. Should Fox McCloud not be in the movie? Should they not put the Nintendo universe in the Nintendo movie? Don't you think it'd be weird if they went to Yoshi's Island and there wasn't a big dinosaur or Baby Mario? Like, what are we talking about?
it's just not very good. Like, I just don't feel it's as good as the last movie, and a lot of people share that sentiment. It has nothing to do with any of what this garbage.
I've never seen MoistCritical become more of a soy pussy baby than I have seen in this video. How is he this pressed over this? Like, this is crazy. How is he this upset over this? It's blowing my mind.
They're spewing out is that's the biggest fucking nothing burger ever, because it is following the exact same formula from the last movie. It just does it worse. And really, if you want to dive into the nitty gritty, Super Mario Galaxy is significantly more woke than the last Mario movie by their standards of wokeness. This one turned the dial up past 10. This shit went turbo mode in wokeness.
Sure, yeah, it made Bowser kiss Mario.
I feel like they haven't even seen the film and they're talking about it like this. Jiminy Christmas, one of the core elements of the plot here, one of the few plot elements they don't just forget about and wipe their ass with and abandon immediately, is the fact that Peach is a badass who doesn't need saving. She is now just fully capable of just clapping cheeks and saving her sister herself, and that sister connection is the strongest force in the universe. Big spoiler alert, the entire day is saved, the whole universe is saved by Peach and Rosalina touching hands, and the force of their sisterhood and their powers together combined instantly saved the day. But
okay. So no, that's not what happened. So Peach and Rosalina touched hands, and it broke Rosalina out of her prison cell. But Mario defeated Bowser by himself by chopping down the bridge and using the axe, and then he fell into the lava, and then they had to fight him again, which Mario fucking clapped their ass with by getting the mega power up. So that's not what happened. Peach and Rosalina touched hands that broke her out of her chamber, and then it made Bowser World become Forest World, but every other plot line was solved by Mario or Luigi. They just got Rosalina out of a chamber because they touched hands. I don't know if he watched the movie or not.
By all of the definitions that they have ever talked about in regards to other films, this would be something that they would call a girl boss character and a woke film. But for some...
Well, I'm not sure if you realize this, Charlie, but Princess Peach was a useless princess in the beginning of the game. But then they made this game called Super Smash Brothers, where Peach is just a strong fighter. They even were showcasing a lot of her moves from Super Smash Brothers in Mario. For example, her side B was a big pog moment because she did the fucking side B butt bash when fighting all the ninjas, right? So yeah, I mean, obviously Peach has changed now that she's a main character in the Super Smash Brothers fighter.
For some reason, now they're arguing the opposite. It's so peculiar. Because if you actually watch this movie and you are trying to follow their logic, then this film being more woke by their standards than the last one should mean that it has a higher critic score, like is more positively received by critics than the last one.
I find it very interesting how Charlie only covers what right-wing people say on the internet and call it stupid, but he isn't calling out any of the left-wingers who are trying to theorycraft Bowser's sexuality. And I find that very curious why he's only calling out one side when he's trying to remain as the neutral party. Very interesting.
But it's not. But the point is, this is just a complete nothing statement about it being, it's conservative versus liberal. That's what it all boils down to. It doesn't. It's just not really a great movie, and it's a huge step back from the last Mario Brothers movie. That's really it. It doesn't go deeper than that. Again, most of the formula is still exactly the same from the last one. They just do it worse and messier and rely significantly more on just cameos and remember this, remember that, who gets this reference, that kind of thing, which isn't overly great. And it's something that gets criticized often in other things like Star Wars. So all of a sudden now it's weird to say that that's like a negative about a film. It's just... the whole discourse around the Super Mario Galaxy movie is fucking wacky. I had to yap about it. I couldn't resist yapping about it. Anyway, that's about it. See ya.
If you want to know why people are taking Charlie's opinion less seriously these days, it's once again his overwhelming fear of the left is so apparent. He did not call out both sides. Very interesting. Yes, very, very, very interesting. The movie was great. I watched, I smiled, I laughed the entire thing besides like 2 minutes for the introduction of Yoshi, and that's why I gave it a 92 instead of a 96 or a 98. Awesome time. Definitely go see it. It's fucking badass.